Hey guys, how's it going? I'm more fatty. I was able to fix my mic. I literally just recorded an hour-long video not knowing that my audio wasn't working the whole time. So please, if anybody tunes in, please let me know as soon as possible whether or not you can hear me. I'm pretty sure my mic is working right now. And yeah, I'm pretty sure my mic's working. So I'm going to go ahead and do this live video. At this point in time, looks like nobody is watching yet. But I am going to check back to the chat frequently to see if there's anybody in here. And yes. So thank you guys for being here last time. Like I said, my audio wasn't working. Apologies for that. But I am going to start doing some more live stuff. And, I do like to do film review every once in a while to help myself get better. So what I did today was I recorded my League vs. League drives earlier in the day and without any audio. And I figured I would go back, watch the film, and do audio live. And, hopefully maybe interact with some people if they have any questions about what I would do in certain situations. Just for context, I'm currently ranked like 58 in head-to-head. So I'm top 100. My name is, my game name's more fatty. And yeah, so I'm going to get right into this here, and I'm going to go ahead and review a couple of a league mates plays. And then I'm going to review my 3 drives, and I'm going to try and be as quick and efficient as possible. I did go kind of long on the last one, so I'm going to try and keep it more concise. And it looks like somebody's here. You can hear me, right? I just want to make sure. And thanks for coming to the channel. Appreciate it. Please, if you can, type in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure you should be able to. I think I fixed my audio issue. And I am going to check back to the chat every so often. But I'm going to go ahead and start reviewing these drives here. So this is a League Mates drives. There's 2 plays here that I wanted to review, that I wanted to talk briefly about and review. And so the first play here, he calls hold on one second, sorry. One second, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead here and review the film. I do want to talk a little bit about play call strategy, and I do want to talk about how I like to break down plays, especially pre-snap and post-snap. So what I did here was I was reviewing a League Mates drives in League vs. League today, and 2 plays really stuck out to me that I thought we could definitely improve upon. So this first play here from the right hash, he is calling double hitch. Double hitch is a good play. You can get it up to the tight end on the flag route, or you can get it to the hitch route to wide receiver 1, depending on the coverage. For me, I don't like to call passes going to the right side of the field from the right hash. If I'm on the right hash, I like to operate to the side of the field that has more space. So if I'm on the right hash, I'm going to be calling a pass or a run to the left side. So that's kind of how I set up my play calling strategy, with other types of things in there as well, other types of nuances. But it's fine. He's calling it from the right hash. He still has enough, space to get it there and everything. It's just, in my opinion, I like to go to the side of the field that has more space. But he's calling double hitch here, his first play of the first series. Not bad. You do want to test for some long passes here on your first couple drives to make sure you have no plays. You know a couple plays that aren't hard countered in case you get any third or fourth down situations. The counter formation for double hitch is nickel, I believe. Let's just double check. Yes, it is nickel, so we know pre-snap. So the key thing here is pre-snap, getting our reads pre-snap. And real quick, pre-snap, he's in a dime, so we know it's not countered. The counter formation's a nickel. What else we can see here? This is huge. Whenever you see the safeties come down, so the free safety and strong safety are both coming down to the line of scrimmage. They're pressing up against wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. This tells us that it's going to be man coverage and there's going to be no safety over the top, and they're double covering wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. So this should be a pretty good play to either try and get it to Gronk in single coverage. This is cornerback 4 that's lined up against him, or just scramble, because man coverage plays are the best plays to scramble with, and Carson Wentz is a very fast quarterback. He's actually, in my opinion, one of the best quarterbacks in the game at the moment. I also have him trained up a little bit higher, but he is like very fast, very good stats, and he's also 6'5". So real quick here, we can see it is man coverage. After we snap the ball, getting the read, it's definitely man coverage. And right here, we can see Gronk is wide open. Cornerback 4 is just sitting there. For some reason, he doesn't get into coverage right away. Gronk is wide open here. The mistake that the league made here was, in my opinion, not getting rid of the ball as soon as he saw Gronk was wide open. He definitely held on to the rock a little bit too long, and he also didn't get ideal blocking either. He's probably waiting, hoping that he can get it. But now, at this point, you can see this defender here swims off of his left tackle. At this point, he shouldn't even be trying to throw the ball anymore, because he should be able to see this, that the right end, that's the right defensive end, has got off his block and now he's untouched. And so here, he shouldn't be trying to throw the ball anymore. There's no way he's going to have enough time. So he ended up trying to throw it way too late. And by the time he throws it, he gets hit. Now, at this point, like I said, he should be trying to scramble somewhere and hope that either his tackle can engage back or his halfback can pick up a block. But at this point, it is, he's too late here reading this, and he can't get the pass off when that likely could have been a touchdown if he got it off and he read it soon enough. Like right here, he should be throwing the ball. Gronk's wide open. He should be put a little bit of touch on it, get it over the top, and it should be an easy touchdown. He just held on to it a little bit too long, and yeah, he held on to it a little bit too long, and that was the one that stuck out to me. And then there's one other play here. So I like this. He's calling trip strong flood from the left hash. So he has a lot more space to operate here. This is a play that goes to the right. It's actually ideal kind of if you roll to your right when you call this play, as long as you have the pass blocking. So pre-snap read, we know this isn't counter. Nickel is a counter formation. He's in a 4-3. And I really like trip strong flood on first down, especially from the, I only use it from the left hash. I like to give myself more room to operate with. So this is great. I like that he's calling it from the left hash here. And what I've noticed a lot of the time on this play is that the defense a lot of the time on first down against trip strong flood plays some kind of a deep zone, and they leave the flats and the tight end just wide open. So, but the read here on trip strong flood is you should be reading the tight end and wide receiver 3, the slot receiver. One of them is usually going to be open, depending on the coverage. If it's man, Crabtree on that out route up there is going to be open pretty much every time. And if it's zone, depending on what kind of zone, you can get it underneath to the tight end, or you can find a hole in the zone and get it to Crabtree on the out route. If it's countered, if it's a nickel here and it was a high snap or anything telling us that it's countered, like you get locked up, right? So To tell it's countered, it's a nickel formation, but then when you snap the ball, your quarterback's locked up. You can't control him. That's how you can tell it's countered. It's also usually a high snap. Now, when it's countered, I'll throw it to the halfback out of the backfield, just because you can't really roll out. So I just get it to the halfback on this little like half circle route there. But if it's not countered, you're reading these two, the tight end, the slot, and reading the coverage and getting it to the best option. Here, it's clear the defense is in a zone coverage. They're all backpedaling. They're in a deep zone. They're in a deep zone. Gronk's wide open underneath. The ball should be out right now, getting it to Gronk, especially on 1st and 10. If he throws it right around now, Gronk can get an easy first down. Should be able to get an easy first down at least. He chose not to throw it there, and instead he held on to it longer, rolled out, threw it on the run, and hit Crabtree, and Crabtree caught it. Do need to note that animation of catching it on the back hip there is the worst animation in the game. This year, they're dropping that a high percentage of the time if they go to catch it on their back hip like that. So it's something to be aware of. What I've tried to do to kind of mitigate that a little bit is I've noticed that a lot of the time that's happening when I'm throwing on the run. So if I can set my feet before I throw it, I set my feet. And then the other thing that I didn't do a good job in today, but I'm going to do a better job in moving forward, is swiping up. If you swipe up before your receiver catches it, usually you can get that catch thing to pop up and he should catch it pretty easy. Here he doesn't drop it, so he's fine, and he completes the pass easy, but ideally, in my opinion, he would have got it to Gronk. You should always hit the wide open receiver, the uncovered receiver. Gronk was uncovered there, especially on 1st and 10. 1st and 2nd down, there's no doubt about it. You should be hitting Gronk there, wide open underneath. Even on 3rd down, I'm probably still hitting him. The only down I'm not hitting Gronk on is 4th down, but I'm also not calling this play on 4th down anyways. But yeah, I mean, you can see here, ideally, he would have got it to Gronk sooner than that too. I mean, right here, the read. You can make the read right here. Ball should be out right here to Gronk, and kind of that's that. So those are the two plays there. Let me check the chat and see if anybody is in here talking. Natural Gamer, how's it going? Hey. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Looks like we have 2 people watching now. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. I'm going to refer to it a decent amount as I go through here and review drives, review plays, talk of strategy, film review, film session. So I'm going to get in here and look at my league versus league drives today. I did score 24, but my second drive I had to convert 2 4th downs. So we are going to go through and I'm going to talk a little bit about every play that I call and why I do it, and try and give you guys some strategy here. So from midfield here, the first play I always like to call from either the midfield or the right hash is spread slot flags. My first 2 first downs of every league versus league match, I'm calling long passes because I need to test for long passes to know that I have them open when I need them on 3rd or 4th down. I need to know that I have passes open. So at the minimum, I'm going to test for 2 long passes, and if one of them's countered, then I'm going to keep testing until I find 2 that are open, and then I move on in kind of my play calling, my play calling strategy. But here, I always like to call from, midfield to the right hash spread slot flags as my first play. And I think I took a little bit of time to call the play. I was talking to my wife. So yeah, I go ahead here, call spread slot flags. The read here is I'm reading the left side of the field. Depending on the coverage, I'm going to get it up to Moss, or I'm going to get it to Adams, who's wide receiver 2. If it's man coverage, I'm going to hit wide receiver 2 on that short out route, like fake slant out route. It's a great route. Defenders can't really cover it ever. And then if it's a zone, as long as it's not a deep zone, I'm going to throw it to Moss on the flag route. And if it's a deep zone, then I'm going to get it to Adams underneath. That's kind of the plan for this play. It's a very effective play. In my opinion, defenses should take it away. If they don't, I can absolutely, light them up with this play. Just because I love calling plays like this where you can read one side of the field. You have a deep route option and a short route option, and you can, dissect the coverage and decide who the best option is. Here, I know it's not countered. He's lining up in a 4-3. So the pre-snap read here, he's lining up in a 4-3. Linebacker sliding out. I know it's not countered. The counter is a dime for this. And if it is countered and it's a dime, it's pretty easy to get to wide receiver 2 if it's not critically countered. So that's always what I do. But it's not countered here. I read the coverage. It's pretty easy to read that it's a deep zone. He's rushing 4 and he's in a deep zone. So right away I can get it to Adams pretty easy. Pick up like 11 yards, and also know it's not countered, so I have one play that I can go back to that I need on 3rd or 4th down. Now the next play here I'm going to test for is post corners flipped. I really do like this play, especially on All Pro. And All Madden, it's a little bit tougher to make it work like this because you get a lot less blocking. Can still make it work, but not all the time. All Pro, it's a much higher success rate. What I like to do on this play is I flip it, and I like to roll out to the right. So I like to call it from the left hash. This way here, let's go back a little bit. This way here, as you can see the play on the screen, when I flip it and I roll to my right, I have 3 options that I can read here. Depending on what the coverage is, at least one of them is going to be open. And if it's man, usually Gronk or wide receiver 1 will be open, or both of them. And if it's zone, usually wide receiver 1 or the slot will be open. So immediately I know it's not counter. It counters a nickel. One of his linebackers slides out there. It could be zone, could be man. Don't really know yet, but that's the pre-snap read. So here, okay, so here I see he's not blitzing anybody. And it's man coverage. I can tell right now it's man coverage because this linebacker is going down towards the halfback. The halfback stays in the block, so he's playing man on that. And then you can definitely tell because these defenders are all flipping their hips. It's man coverage. So now I can see like my blocking's great. I'm going to be able to roll out to the right easy. So what I do, I roll out there to the right. And now, you know, I have 2 options here. Gronk and Crabtree both look like they're going to be open. They both are very open. I elect to throw it to Crabtree. I could have threw it to Gronk too. I prefer to throw it to Crabtree here because, you know, there's more upside in that play. If I throw it to Gronk, this defender will sag back and make the play. It isn't as big of a gainer. But if I throw it to Crabtree, I can get, you know, it just has more home run potential. And they're both open. Get it to Crabtree easy. You see how I set my feet there, and I swiped up there. I need to do that every time. I wasn't swiping up every time, but I swiped up to get him, make sure that he caught it. And I did set my feet when I threw it. So that's kind of how I'm trying to avoid more drops this season because they are happening pretty frequently. And so now I have both my runs that I've had that I know aren't countered that I've tested for. So now I'm going to start testing for. I have both of my long passes that I've tested for that I know are counted. That's great. I'm already up to the 30-yard line, and now I'm going to start testing for run plays. The first run play I'm calling here on 1st down is trips tight end halfback counter. I'm calling it flipped. In my opinion, this is the best run play in the game. On 2nd and medium, 2nd and long, and 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, it's pretty much unstoppable. But I do test for it on 1st down first because I don't want to get a hard counter on a 2nd or 3rd down when I call it. So this is perfect. One of the main reasons why I love this play is because the defenders have to get out and cover these guys, so there's less people in the box to defend the run. Here, he's in a 4-3. I know it's not countered. The counter is a nickel. It's not countered. He's in a 4-3. 2 linebackers have to slide out in coverage there. So now he has 6 in the box, 1 being a cornerback. And this is one of the main reasons why I love this play. Another reason why I love this play is because the off-guard pulls, and, you know, that's like a fullback right there, right? So off-guard pulls, pancakes him. I get great blocks. And I'm able to bring it in for a touchdown. And we're kind of rolling here on the first drive. I've got 3 plays that I know are open that are all great plays. Just went back there. I called toss. Got it in pretty easy. And first drive was, you know, smooth sailing. So let's see if anybody has anything here before I go to the second drive. Hey guys, thanks for coming. Hope you enjoy my stream. You guys can see audio, right? Natural Gamer, yes, you can see my team. I can show you a screenshot right now. I'm actually not on my phone. I'm on my computer. I'm reviewing film that I filmed earlier today. But thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. And actually, Natural Gamer, I did a video a couple days back about the most feared Gronk. I show both my offense and defense in that video. If you actually just search most feared Gronk, I'm one of the top results up there. I think I'm the 4th one down, or you can just find the video on my channel. But I do show my team there, but my team has changed a little bit since then, so I can update that. I will give you guys an update of my team here soon. If you're just joining, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm more fatty. I'm in the process of trying to get into a top 5 league versus league team, heroic spam, and I am ranked top 100 in head-to-head at the moment. I think I'm like 58 or 57. I have about 20 million fans. You should be seeing me on the leaderboards. You know, I've been working a lot on my game, and this is how I get better here. I review the film. And a little bit more about me. I played sports my whole life. I love football. I almost coached college football. I decided not to. I work in finance now. I also love the stock market. Again, thank you all for watching, and I can show you a screenshot of my team, Natural Gamer, my defense I have here. So this is my current defense. I can't really, you know, obviously I'm not on my phone, so I can't click and show you all the stats. I have been doing very well making coins this year, investing in higher-end type players. You see I got the Sig Saw. He's pretty sick. Fletcher Cox, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the game as well. He's an 88. Clowney, one of the best defensive ends, is also an 88. I got the Showdown Mac. You know, I run a 3-4, so I have two awesome outside linebackers that are awesome in coverage and awesome pass rushing. They fit a 3-4 perfectly. You know, I do have the power line Shazira Master, and I have as well, you know, the Ray Lewis. Eric Berry here. I got Gronk already. I'm in the process of getting Ware. I plan on getting Gronk. Well, I mean, I already have Gronk, but I plan on also getting Ware. I should be getting him here probably the next 2 to 3 days. I'm grinding for some of them, and I'm also just gonna, you know, buy a bunch of golds to get them because that's a cheaper route. If you want to build if you actually want to build these guys, right? If you want to build the, what are they called? So Gronk is the out of position one. Why am I drawing a blank on what they're called? But where is like the, what are these things called? Why am I drawing blank on that? But anyways, if you want to get them, it's a lot cheaper to get golds instead of elites. That was going to be my point. So when the promo first dropped, I bought 300 golds. It cost me about like 12 million coins. So I was able to build Gronk for about 12 million. Things are even lower than that now. You can probably get golds for 30K. So you can probably build, just get golds alone. You can build them for, you know, 9 million coins. So, you know, that's going to be kind of my plan. I am going to grind for some of Ware, and then I'm also going to buy golds for the other half. So I'm going to do like half and half, save myself some coins there. But what I'm going to do is when I get Ware, I'm going to put him here in Collins' spot, and then I'm going to slide Collins over to the right outside linebacker spot. And yeah, so I can show you guys more about this later, but I love defense, and, you know, my offense is pretty solid. I don't have a picture of my offense right now, but that's not what this video is about. This video is to help everybody get better and review film. It's what I really enjoy doing. At some point I will do donations, so yes, Panther, at some point I will definitely do some donations. It's probably going to be based on how many subscribers I get. So yeah, I mean, and I'm definitely going to take care of the people that started here first. So, like, you know, people that are here first are definitely going to get rewarded for it, for helping me grow. And yes, I will be doing, probably this weekend I'll do some kind of a giveaway if I do have time to go live again. So that's kind of what my team looks like. I don't have my phone handy right now. I'm not live on my phone, so I can't get into that. But I will do that this weekend. I'll do some live stuff on my phone and show you guys gameplay and all that stuff. But so we're moving on here to the second drive. I did end up getting a 24. But this drive definitely gave me more trouble than I had hoped for. What I didn't do on this drive is I didn't test to see if he was live countering. Now this league is ranked like in the 2000s, so I didn't expect him to be live countering, but ideally I should have called spread slot flags again to make sure he wasn't live countering. But I didn't do that. I tested for another run, weak eye double counter. This is, like, in my opinion, weak eye double counter is the third best run play in the game. I think it's trips tight end halfback counter flipped, bunch halfback dive, all of them flipped I think are better. Bunch halfback dive flipped, and weak eye double counter flipped. Now trips tight end halfback counter and bunch halfback dive, those plays are absolutely unstoppable in second and medium, second and long, and third and medium, third and long. That's why I like them so much. And then weak eye double counter is also pretty solid. It's pretty unstoppable on like third and medium, third and long, not as much on second and first. But third and medium, third and long, weak eye double counter is a great option as well. So I go ahead and call this play. He's in a 4-3. I know it's not countered. 3-4 is a counter formation. I always like to see how my off guard gets out here to block, because it's one of the reasons why I love weak eye double counters, because you get like two fullbacks, right? So I got my fullback going out there, but then I also get my right guard out there. So essentially I got two fullbacks. What I did realize here is I made a mistake on both times I ran this play. I should have went outside. So this is the big decision here when you call this play and it works like this, is to cut it up or to go outside. Both times I call this, I should have went outside. And I think the answer in all pro, most of the time it's going to be you should go outside. I could have probably busted a much bigger run if I went outside. Didn't go outside, cut it up. Instead, my receiver wasn't able to hold the block and I got stopped. This should have been like a 15 to 20 yard run. It wasn't even 10 yards. Definitely not ideal there, but it definitely, my line was doing pretty well there, but I could have made a better decision by going outside. So here on second and short, third and short, my favorite play is to call play action. So I did call strong eye play action slide, and I flipped it. Most of the time, if it's not countered, your fullback or your tight end is going to be open, one of the two. And Gronk ended up being wide open, so I was able to hit him easy. Like I said, I've been making sure I don't throw on the run, planning my feet, so I don't want as many drops. I notice most of my drops happen when I throw on the run, so I've been making more of an effort to plant my feet. I also need to make it more of an effort to swipe up every time. I didn't swipe up there, and he dropped it actually. If I swiped up, maybe he would have caught it. But that's the thing right there. This drop right here, guys. This year, this animation and this drop is happening probably like almost half the time. I plant my feet, I throw a good pass, he throws it behind him. It's that catch on the back hip animation, and when you get that, it's pretty scary because it gets dropped a lot. And it got dropped. And I should have swiped up there, maybe he would have caught it. Okay, so here... Alright, so this is play action slide. Again. Trying to get to the next play. Oh, sorry, that's toss, actually. Okay, so, yeah, we dropped play action slide. The next play I called was toss flipped. Third and short, I call toss flipped. I know this is countered because he's in a 3-4. If it wasn't countered, he'd be in a goal line. So I know this is going to be countered. So whenever it's countered, what I do, what's ideal to do is to wait for middle linebacker 1 to press up to the line of scrimmage before you snap the ball. So I wait for him to come down. And actually, that's who this guy is. Okay. I was wondering who he was because literally he's an 89. But he was like a beast. He was an absolute beast. He gave me a lot of trouble in this second drive here. I was able to still score, but he made some good plays. But anyways, I wait for him to press, and then I snap the ball. Get the first down. I could have tried to get outside and get more yardage, but when it's countered, it's more likely I'm going to fumble. So I just, got the first down and wanted to just get down, not try to do any skill moves or anything. Okay, so first down from the left hash. One of my favorite plays to call from the left hash is trip strong flood. Nickel's the counter for this. I know he doesn't have it countered. He's in a 4-3. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to read. I think I already mentioned this, but I'm reading the tight end and the slot receiver. And like I said, a lot of the time it's a deep zone. So on first down, it's a deep zone. So I'm going to be able to get it to the tight end. But I am going to read the coverage first. And it's actually not a deep zone. It's a cover 2, but it is a zone coverage. You see cornerback 1 and cornerback 2 are in like the flats. So it's a cover 2. But because I know that's covered, I know that Moss is going to be open as long as I get the blocking, which I do. So I roll out to the right there. I plant I threw on the run there. I should have swiped up. I'm happy that he caught it, but I was like, holding my breath because that's a drop a lot this year. But the catch thing popped up and he caught it. So, that was fine. All right, so my favorite play here, or actually my favorite play to call from the right hash this point in the season right now is empty shallow cross. The reason why I like it so much, and it's flipped, right? So I call it flipped from the right hash. And the reason why I like that so much is I usually get my halfback matched up against a linebacker. So I get Marshall Faulk on a linebacker, and he most of the time burns them pretty easy. Here you can see, I don't know where Bruce Irvin's, actually Bruce Irvin's coming over maybe to cover Gronk, but his safety is actually coming down here to cover Faulk. And this is actually the best I've seen Faulk get covered on this route all year, even in head-to-head. Like, even in head-to-head on all Madden, I haven't seen him get covered this well. So this safety, interesting to note that he was like a pretty good in coverage. The only time I've seen Faulk be covered this well in this route, if it's man coverage, is against cornerbacks, not against safeties or linebackers. I love when I have Falk matched up against safety or a linebacker. So I'm really loving this matchup pre-snap. I see that they're pressed up on the line of scrimmage. I know it's probably going to be man. And actually, even before that, the counter formation for this pre-snap is a dime. And so it's possible it's counter, but then when these guys slide up, I know it's man. So and the counter play for this is zone. Right? So the counter formation is dime, but the counter play is zone coverage. And because the safety just pressed up to the line, I know it's going to be man coverage. Therefore, I know it's not going to be countered. And I'm actually pretty excited at this point because I have Falk matched up on the safety on man coverage. But actually, I was surprised how well that safety covered him and didn't really get much there. So 2nd and 7. Now, what's good about this is now I can call trips tight end halfback counter. 2nd and medium, 2nd and long, and 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. Trips tight end halfback counter is like the best run play in the game. And in my opinion, it's pretty important for everybody to have that play countered in their playbook. In their game plan, I mean. So I end up calling it. I know it's not countered. He's in a dime. And we know it's not hard countered. But I also know it's not soft counter. I know it's not hard counter because I tested it last drive and he's not live countering. But I know it's not soft counter because a nickel is the counter formation. So perfect here. You know, this wide receiver didn't get to close the gap, so he missed that block. So this guy got in, but that's fine. My guard's out here pulling. And again, I decided to try to go inside and follow my guard. But I should have went outside here. So pretty much every counter play I called in this league versus league match, I should have went outside, but instead I tried to run it in through the gaps, in through the holes there in the gaps. So yeah, that's something I'm going to take with me moving forward. I should probably almost always try to go outside in league versus league on All Pro. And if we back it up a little bit more, you can see if I decided to go outside right here, I would easily got the first down. And, a lot more. But I didn't. That guy got off his block. That's kind of sad. I actually looked at this earlier. The sad part about that is that this is Kyle Long. He's 105 overall. He's my left guard. He's blocking cornerback 3, and somehow cornerback 3 wins the battle. That's pretty sad. That should never happen. But he does, and he makes a tackle. So before I go any forward, I want to see if there's any more questions. I have 2 mil, but your defense is fire. Mine's only an 89 overall. If new packs don't drop tomorrow, any players to recommend for my team? Any unstoppably broken play? Yes, there's plenty of unstoppably broken plays, and you're going to see one here on this drive. And I'm actually talking about those right now too. Trips tight end halfback counter, bunch halfback dive on 2nd medium, 2nd long. Those are unstoppable. Weak eye double counter on 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. Halfback cutback on 3rd and long. Halfback slant on 3rd and long. Any 3rd and long run that has the wide receivers running routes instead of blocking messes up the AI on the defense. You can usually get a pretty good run, but the exception there is weak eye double counter flipped on 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. That works like a charm. And then, trips tight end halfback counter, bunch halfback dive, all flipped work like a charm on 2nd medium, 2nd and long, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. And for passes, spread fly drag flipped is pretty broke. You'll see here, I'm going to call that here shortly. Fullback flare flipped on the goal line. The fullback's always wide open. For passes, I think that's pretty much, those two are both pretty broken. Any players I would recommend for your team? Well, Panther, I would recommend that you get one of these, at least one of the 91s. Either Gronk or Ware. I would say get either Gronk or Ware. And I would say Gronk more. I would say Gronk's the most important. I think it's really important to have good safeties. Alberto, Madden Mobile, I appreciate it. I can't join your league. I'm actually in the process of trying to get into the #2 league in the world right now, Heroic Spam. I'm pretty close. Actually, I did a tryout today where I went in and I played them all, and I beat every single one of them except one person. So, that tryout went pretty well. If they don't let me in after that, I'll be, pretty sad. But I hope that they do. What do I record on? I record on OBS. My league name right now is Green Eggs and Spam. And it's the feeder for Heroic Spam. Thank you for subbing. You need coins. So my league name is, like I said, Heroic Spam, which is the feeder for... it's Green Eggs and Spam, which is the feeder for Heroic Spam. But I did a tryout today for Heroic Spam. I went in there and I literally kicked everyone's butt. I only lost once. I played all the admins. I beat them all. And the tryout was on all Madden. And if you look me up, Amor Fati is my name. I'm currently ranked number 58 in the world in head-to-head. And, you know, I only play on all Madden, so that's why League vs. League is like, you know, I guess you could say it's like cookies. It's just, when you play all Madden so much, all pro just seems super easy. Any methods, you need coin methods. So the best way I've made coins this year, Zach, is investing in higher-end players. I made a ton of coins investing in Jalen Ramsey. I made a ton of coins, you know, the showstopper Jalen Ramsey. I made a ton of coins investing in legends. I made a ton of coins just investing in higher overall players, because what happens is the price of coins continue to go down and people buy coins, and that causes the price of all players and cards to rise. So any like high base players, like what's his name here? I have him here. Fletcher Cox. I bought a couple of these a couple of days ago for 2 million coins, and I'm already selling one today for 8 million. He's an 88 overall. Jadeveon Clowney, same thing. Any like high-end players, all the promotional players, right? So like that 92 Mariota, I bought him for 7.5 mil and sold him today for like 15 mil. Just the higher-end stuff is what you want to be investing in, and you just hold it for a couple of weeks. It's probably going to go up in value. I invest. I don't really trade or snipe. I just buy high-end cards, and I hold them for a little bit, and then I sell them for huge profits. You see this Jalen Ramsey, I had like 5 of these, and I sold them all. I bought them all for like 3 mil or less, and I sold them all for like 9 million plus. And all I did was hold them for a couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of these signature SOs that I've invested in right now. So SIG cards are, certain positions are good to invest in. I think any 88 plus defensive tackle is a good investment. There's not many of them. And yeah, it's like off the top of my head, so game plan items too, but really for me, it's been players this year that I've been investing into making a lot of coins. Toxic Waste. I've said my league name now like 3 times, so I'll type it in the chat too. The league name that I'm in right now is Green Eggs and Spam. Well, actually, I'm in Heroic Spam right now. I need to leave it and go back to the feeder because we're about to get Des Bryant. But my league I'm in is Green Eggs and Spam, which is the feeder for Heroic Spam. Apologies, you can probably hear my kids in the background. Feeder for Heroic Spam. And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get in. I hope they let me in after the tryout I had today. I crushed everyone. So we'll see, though. They're a good group of guys, though. I like being with them. They're smart guys, so you know, I'm happy to be there. And I guess Toxic Waste, maybe you should turn on your audio. And can someone type in the chat? I just want to make sure you guys can hear me, right? I made a video earlier where I had no audio and I talked for like almost an hour. So please type in the chat if you can hear me, like type something, yes. You have 1.25 mil and you want more. That's cool, Zach. You know, if you subscribe and stick around, I'm definitely going to do some giveaways eventually. So, you know, with how many coins I have, I could definitely be giving away, you know, a couple mil total. And I will do live gameplay, but I want to go back here and keep reviewing and get through this. But please type in the chat if you can't hear me. I guess that doesn't make sense because if you couldn't hear me, you wouldn't know I was saying this. So please type in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, so 3rd and 5 here because I got stuffed on trips tight end halfback counter on 2nd down. And the first play I had a drop. Is that right? I forget how we got here now. Oh, yeah, okay. So I called empty trip shallow cross for 3 yards. And then 2nd and 7, I should have got an easy first down, but I messed up on the run. I didn't go outside. I should have went outside. And then 3rd and 5 now. I end up flipping spread slot flags and using this. This was my biggest mistake of the match, actually, this play. So I am going to spend a little bit more time talking about this play. Pre-snap, I know it's not countered. The dime's a counter for it. He's in a 4-3. On this play, I'm normally reading the right side of the field if it's flipped from the left hash. I'm reading Gronk or Crabtree, and I'm going to get it to Gronk on the flag route or Crabtree on that route depending on the coverage. If it's man, it's usually going to Crabtree, and if it's any type of zone that's not a deep zone, I'm going to get it to Gronk. I'm going to get it over the linebacker in front of the safety. But what I realized here is calling this play flipped really messed up the coverage, and I need to be more aware. I didn't even look at the left side of the field. I had these Moss and Adams. Adams was wide open. Moss was open too, more open than these guys. So next time when I flip this play, I have to give the left side of the field a look. I've noticed a lot when I flip plays, the coverage gets kind of messed up. And you can see how messed up this is. They got their safety and 2 linebackers all like right on top of each other, covering nothing. And just, I have 2 guys here and 1 guy out there, so obviously they're open. But I had tunnel vision only to the right side. And even with this read here, so right here, I should be throwing it to Gronk. I can still get it to Gronk. I can get it over the linebacker in front of the safety. He can face catch that flag route. But for some reason, I didn't throw it to Gronk. I threw it to Crabtree. This was a mistake. It was the worst play of the match for me. It was my biggest mistake of the match. I definitely can't do this again. I should have gave the left side of the field a look. From now on, when I flip this spread, when I flip spread slot flags, I'm gonna at least give the left side of the field a look because the coverage can be messed up, and I would have been able to pass it to either of these guys, Adams or Moss. And also, even though I was reading the right side, Gronk and Crabtree, I should have thrown it to Gronk. I have Gronk in ideal coverage here. He's just one-on-one with the safety. Gronk wins that matchup like 99 out of 100 times. He'll face catch that, easily catch it. Instead, I try to get it to Crabtree. He's open enough, but he does do the back catch on back hip animation, and he ends up dropping it. And then he actually like catches it out of bounds, but it doesn't matter. So now we go to 4th and 5. I have to convert a 4th and 5. I'm going to look real quick and see if any of you guys have anything to say. We can't hear you. Okay, cool. There's some trolls here. I pulled a 7. Thank you, Zach. We can. I pulled a 700K pull from a 24/7 achievement pack. That is awesome. Yeah, I would recommend if you haven't. Have you done all the 24/7 ones twice? I actually pulled. So I actually have some players on my team that I pulled in those packs. I pulled Bruce Irvin, and I also pulled Clinton Dix, but I got rid of him, and I got Eric Berry instead. But yeah, I mean, I still have the Bruce Irvin that I pulled earlier in the season. If you do them all twice, then you get that punter, that 90 overall punter. So I'd highly recommend doing all those, and you can get some great pulls in those as well. The achievement packs, if you get an elite, yeah, that's easy coins right there. That's awesome to hear, Zach. Congrats. What player was it? What player did you pull, Zach? Do you remember? William Ash says Suh. Yeah, man, I have Suh at my first defensive tackle, the Sig Ndamukong Suh. Sorry, Ndamukong Suh. I called him Suh. Ndamukong Suh, I know his name. I said it wrong. My apologies. Thank you for pointing that out. You're 1 away. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I have 500K. What should I do with it? You should save it. Don't buy packs. In my opinion, the worst way to spend coins is buying packs. It's like gambling, right? I like to make investments and profit off things that I buy. I'm not a big fan of buying pro packs. I actually haven't really ripped barely any pro packs this year. So yeah, I would recommend saving your coins. Don't buy packs. Buy players, invest in them, and sell them for profits. Yeah, you can't. iFinesse says, I thought you can't favorite the set. You can't favorite the set, but you can still complete it from your bench. If you go to your bench, you can complete every single one of them once a day. All 32 of them you can complete once a day. If you go to your bench, you can put those bronze and silvers in from your bench. and complete it. But you just have to make sure you don't do it twice within 24 hours or it will disappear. But how you can tell with that is when you're about to add the 5th player, it will say add and claim if you can do it, and it will only say add if you can't. So if it doesn't say add and claim, don't do it. Nice, man. Ellie Marp was 87 no lineman. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I pulled one of my offensive linemen in there too. He's an 84 from the Lions. That 24/7 guy, I still have him. So I have actually 2 24/7 guys that I pulled. I have that 84 offensive tackle from the Lions, and I have Bruce Irvin. Yeah, I hope that helps you, Finesse. I've done them all twice. Haven't really done them since, but I did get that Hecker, and I fed that Hecker to Color Rush Gurley. I don't even have Color Rush Gurley anymore. I fed Color Rush Gurley to Most Feared Landon Collins. Most Feared Landon Collins is now my fullback. If you guys haven't seen his stats are the same, like identical stats to Le'Veon Bell. So if you want that Gronk, I think, in my opinion, Landon Collins is the best performer out of those 3. So 4th and 5 here. Okay, 4th and 5. He's in a nickel. The counter formation for this is nickel, but actually it's the most broken counter play in the game. It's 9 Velcro. 9 Velcro is the defense drops 9 men into coverage. Here it wasn't countered. It didn't end up being countered, but if it was, it would have been easy to get it to Gronk because it's a 9-man zone coverage and there's holes in there. You just wait for Gronk to come across and get open. But this has become one of my favorite plays in the game from the left hash, trip tight end, wide receiver, corner. I can either get it to Falk or Gronk depending on the coverage. If it's man coverage, Gronk on that out route is almost always wide open. No one can cover him. And sometimes Falk's open as well, man. And if it's zone, I just read the zone and throw it to either Falk or Gronk, whoever's more open. This is like a similar play to halfback angle. Well, the running back runs a similar route to halfback angle. I actually like this play better than halfback angle, especially from the left hash. I can see immediately right now, I know it's man coverage because this linebacker's running out to cover Falk. And this is when this linebacker starts going crazy, that 89 team of the week guy. Like, I was shocked that he was able to cover Falk. Like, he did actually covered Falk easily there. But Gronk's wide open. So I easily get it to Gronk, convert that 4th and 5. I was a little worried there. He caught it on he did that catch on the back hip animation. But you see, I set my feet. I made sure I set my feet. I noticed, again, I'll say this, I noticed most of my drops occurring when I throw in the run. So I set my feet, I throw it to him. I should have swiped up. I didn't swipe up. But he caught it. Thankfully, he caught it on his back hip. This animation right here is when a lot of drops are happening. So, I was holding my breath on 4th and 5. He's wide open. I hope he catches it. He did. Breaks the tackle. Gets up inside the 20. So convert my fourth down there. My first 4th down of this drive. Next play I call here is weak eye double counter flipped. The counter for this is 3-4, so it's possible that it's countered. It doesn't end up being countered, but the mistake I make again is I did try to cut it up instead of going outside. From what I learned here watching today is I guess I got into kind of a bad habit of cutting it up from playing so much head-to-head on All Madden because it's just harder to get to the outside in All Madden, so I would cut it up. But on All Pro, it's a different story. Plenty of time. I should have went outside in this play. So basically what I've found here is when I'm flipping weak eye double counter and trips tight end halfback counter, I should almost always be going outside in league versus league on All Pro. But I cut it up again. Still got a nice run, but if I cut it outside, I probably could have got a touchdown. So I'm inside the 5, but this is where I had some trouble. Or not a lot of trouble, but the mistake I made was I should have flipped fullback flare and called it on 2nd down. Instead, I called it on 4th. It still worked. I still scored, but here I call bunch halfback dive. If you know, and we knew bunch halfback dive wasn't countered because I tested for it on the first drive. But if you know it's not countered, if you call bunch halfback dive inside the 5-yard line, it's pretty broken. The defense lines up in a dime. It's pretty easy to run it in most of the time. I should have flipped it. I would recommend calling it flipped. What happened here was, for some reason, my center didn't block the middle linebacker. Usually the center blocks the middle linebacker. It's an easy touchdown. So for some reason, my center blocked the defensive tackle. And that leaves my left guard with no one to block, and this middle linebacker comes in untouched and stuffs it. But if I flipped it, I probably could have had an easy touchdown there. Second down and goal, I call spread fly drag flipped. This is one of the plays I'm talking about that's probably one of the most broken in the game at the moment. Spread fly drag flipped. I'll show it to you guys so you can see when I call it. Yeah, see spread fly drag right there. Flipped. The tight end's almost always wide open. It's great to call from the left hash. I don't use it as much in league versus league. I use it all the time in head-to-head. Or I use it pretty often in head-to-head. But in league versus league, I do use it sometimes. You can see there's like no one lined up on Gronk right now. And there's still no one covering him. And he's wide open. And I set my feet and throw it to him, and he drops it. And I should have swiped up there. That's another mistake. Pretty much you should swipe up every time you throw your receiver, I think. It gives them a better chance of catching it. You can see every time they drop it, the bar doesn't pop up, the catch bar doesn't pop up. And if you swipe up, the catch bar will always pop up. Kind of like how you truck, but you just do it to catch. So now we're 3rd and goal. I have a drop. I have a run that should have worked that didn't because my center didn't block. And I try to call toss. Toss is also a good play to call inside the 5. You get a goal line formation. You can usually get it to the outside. The mistake I made here was I should have started getting upfield at this point. I ran parallel too long. And he ended up tackling me. That's that middle linebacker again, that 89 team of the week, gets out there and stuffs me. And now it's 4th and goal from the right hash. And this is what I said. Fullback flare flipped on the goal line. The fullback's always untouched, wide open, as long as it's not countered. The counter's a 3-4, so you know it's not countered when they're in goal line. So I flipped fullback flare. It is a little bit of a gamble because I didn't know whether or not they had a counter, and I called it on 4th down. Most people don't have this countered, so he's wide open. I flip it out to him. I convert the second 4th down of the drive to get 16. So I should have called fullback flare on second and goal. I shouldn't have waited until 4th. But the other thing here, I'm sure most of you guys know about this. For every 2-point conversion, you should be calling toss flipped. It's the best 2-point conversion in the game. So, you know, that's always what I call on for 2-pointers is toss flipped. You just get blocks, get to the pylon, pick it up easy. All right, so there you go. There's my other. I had a little bit of trouble with that drive. My next drive went a lot smoother. Let's see if there's any questions. That's pretty nice, Zach. Luke Kuechly stacked. He's a solid linebacker. The one thing I don't like about Kuechly this year is that he's slow. His speed is pretty slow. I think there's a lot of actually better middle linebackers you could have, but you probably pulled him in the stack pack, so you have him for free, so that's pretty solid. Hey, Parrothead, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Let's see here. How many people do we have in here right now? We have 4 people watching. Thank you all 4 of you guys for watching. I appreciate it. We're almost done here. I'm going to get through this last drive and call it a night. But thanks for watching. I wanted to do this analysis of my drives today. And you see they're like, you know, whatever you want to call it, proof or whatever, heroic spam inviting me. That was for my tryout today. Like I said, I beat up on all of them. I only lost to one person by a point. I hope they let me join, but we'll see. If not, I'll just stay in the feeder longer and prove to them that I deserve to be there at some point. But let's see. So like I said, the second drive, the little mistake I made was I didn't test to see if he was live countering by calling the same play that wasn't countered on the previous drive. So I do this on the 3rd drive. I call spread slot flags. And I know it's not countered, so I know he's not live countering. He's in a 4-3. The read here is I'm getting it to Adams or Moss, depending on the coverage. If it's man, it's going to wide receiver 2 or the slot, depending on the coverage. If it's man, I'm getting it to wide receiver 2. If it's zone, I'm getting it to the slot. Unless it's a deep zone, in that case, wide receiver 2 will be open. So I read the coverage. I know it's zone. It's actually a deep zone. And Adams is wide open underneath. Easy catch and throw there. No, he's not live countering. Trip strong flood, one of my favorite plays to call from the left hash. Usually on 1st and 10, the defense doesn't cover the flats, so your tight end's going to be wide open. Here they do cover the flats, but if they do cover the flats, I know this is zone coverage. If they cover the flats and it's zone coverage, the slot's going to be open on that out route. I set my feet there to make sure and completed it. I should have swiped up on that too, but I did get the catch bar, so we're fine. Empty trip shallow cross. I call this flipped again. Now this is perfect for me. Very favorable. I have the halfback matched up against the linebacker if it's man. It ends up being a zone coverage. And I get it to Falk easily. And the quarterback actually, Team of the Week Wentz makes a good throw there. He throws it. He leads him. Now it's a little low, but he leads him into a spot so he can easily get that first down. So I really like the throw he made there. I wish they would make throws like that more often, instead of throwing it at the receiver's back hip every time. And the thing is, like, my quarterback is every single one of his throw stats is 99 plus, and he still doesn't lead the receivers. They throw it to their back hip all the time on the out routes. Kind of frustrating, but so yeah. And then here I called bunch Z spot, and I know this isn't counter for it's a 3-4. He's in a 4-3. Here on bunch Z spot, if it's a zone, if it's zone coverage and it's not a deep zone, I'm going to get it to the slot on that flag route. And if it's a deep zone, I'm going to get it underneath to Gronk. And if it's man coverage, I'm going to get it underneath either Gronk or Crabtree and see who's open. So I read the coverage. It ends up being zone. And it's not a deep zone, so I get it. It's easy here to get it over the linebacker in front of the safety on flag routes. And, you know, Moss is winning that battle probably 99 out of 100 times on the safety. Get it to him. I swipe up, makes the catch perfect. Get that third score. Flip toss. Get it in for a 24 for the day. And all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions before I stop the stream here? And you guys have any questions? Let's see. Actually, I didn't check. Yeah, I don't see any questions, but please subscribe if you haven't. And if you turn on the notification, if you click the bell after you subscribe, it'll tell you every time I'm live and every time I upload a video. I'm trying to upload videos pretty often right now. So yeah, I will do that. I am going to get to Marcus Ware soon, so I will do an update with my team, what it looks like. I'm going to put DeMarcus Ware in here for Jamie Collins. I'm going to slide Jamie Collins over to right outside linebacker, and Bruce Irvin's going to be fed to DeMarcus Ware. He's going away. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Any other questions before I turn it off? All right. Well, hey, thanks, Finesse. I appreciate it. And Barr, he's a decent linebacker. His speed's good, but his awareness and coverage stats aren't the greatest. But he's all right. There's probably better linebackers out there than him, but yeah, I mean, he's not bad. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will definitely be doing something live this weekend and be uploading another video tomorrow. Maybe I'll be live again tomorrow night as well. We'll see. Have a good one, guys.